The night Olivia Sterling decided to get married, she wasn't in love. She was angry. And anger, when it has enough money behind it, can become a very dangerous thing. Olivia was 34 years old, a self-made millionaire, and the owner of one of the fastest-growing luxury interior design companies in New York City. She lived in a beautiful Manhattan penthouse, drove a black Mercedes, wore expensive clothes, and attended events where people smiled at her even when they secretly envied her. From the outside, Olivia had everything, but nobody knew what had happened 6 months earlier. Nobody knew that the man she had trusted more than anyone had betrayed her. His name was Daniel Carter. Daniel had been Olivia's fiancé for nearly 3 years. She had believed he loved her. She had believed that when he promised to stand beside her forever, he meant it. But 6 months before their wedding, Olivia discovered that Daniel had been secretly working with her business rival. He hadn't only cheated on her emotionally, he had stolen confidential company information and helped another firm take several of her biggest clients. When Olivia confronted him, Daniel didn't apologize. He laughed. He told her something she would never forget. "Olivia, you think people love you because you're special. They love what you have." Those words broke something inside her. Daniel walked away with another woman, and Olivia spent weeks pretending she was fine. She wasn't. Then one evening, she discovered something else. Daniel had been telling people that Olivia would eventually come crawling back because she couldn't live without him. That was the moment Olivia made a decision. She wasn't going to beg. She wasn't going to cry. She was going to prove that Daniel had never understood her, and she was going to do it in the most unexpected way possible. She was going to get married, but not to another millionaire, not to a celebrity, not to a businessman from her social circle. She wanted someone Daniel would never expect, a single father, someone ordinary, someone who didn't need her money, someone who could make Daniel realize that Olivia had moved on completely. At least, that was the plan. 3 weeks later, Olivia met Michael Reed. Michael was 38, a single father, and worked as a maintenance supervisor for a large apartment building in Brooklyn. He had no expensive car, no designer clothes, no wealthy family. He lived in a modest 2-bedroom apartment with his 9-year-old daughter, Emma. And he was tired, not the kind of tired that disappears after a good night's sleep. Michael was the kind of tired that comes from carrying an entire family on your shoulders. His wife had died 4 years earlier after a sudden illness. Since then, Michael had worked 2 jobs to give Emma a stable life. He woke up before sunrise. He prepared her breakfast. He packed her lunch. He dropped her off at school. He worked during the day. He delivered food at night. Then he came home, helped Emma with homework, cooked dinner, washed dishes, and sat beside her until she fell asleep. He didn't complain. He simply kept going. One rainy afternoon, Olivia's car broke down outside the apartment building where Michael worked. She stepped out wearing a cream-colored coat and expensive heels. Rain was pouring. Her phone battery was almost dead. She was already frustrated. Then she saw Michael. He was standing beneath the building's entrance, holding an umbrella over a little girl. "Emma." Olivia watched as Michael took off his own jacket and placed it around his daughter's shoulders. "You'll get cold, Daddy," Emma said. Michael smiled. "I'm fine." "But you're getting wet." "Oh, I'm tougher than I look." Emma laughed. Olivia stared at them. There was something about that moment she couldn't explain. Michael didn't know anyone was watching. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He wasn't performing for the world. He was simply taking care of his daughter. Then Emma noticed Olivia standing near the broken-down car. "Daddy, that lady needs help." Michael looked over. He immediately walked toward Olivia. "Are you okay?" Olivia nodded. "My car won't start." "I'll take a look." "You don't have to." "I know." He smiled. "But I'm already here." 20 minutes later, Michael had figured out the problem. It wasn't a major repair, but the car needed to be taken to a mechanic. I can call a tow truck, Olivia said. Michael shook his head. They'll charge you twice what they should because of the rain. He pulled out his phone. I know a mechanic nearby. Olivia watched him make the call. There was no flirting, no attempt to impress her, no interest in her expensive clothes. When the mechanic agreed to come, Michael turned to leave. Wait. Olivia stopped him. What's your name? Michael. Michael what? Reed. She smiled slightly. I'm Olivia. I know. She looked surprised. You know me? Michael shrugged. Your face is on the magazine covers in the building lobby. Then Emma tugged at his sleeve. Daddy, we're going to be late. Michael looked at Olivia. Hope your car gets fixed. And he walked away. Olivia stood there in the rain. For the first time in months, someone had looked at her without wanting something. That night, Olivia couldn't stop thinking about him, not because she was in love. She wasn't. But because she had an idea. A crazy idea. The next morning, she went back to the building. She found Michael in the maintenance office. He looked confused. Is something wrong? No. Then why are you here? Olivia sat down. I have a proposal. Michael frowned. What kind? A marriage proposal. He almost dropped the coffee in his hand. What? Olivia calmly explained everything. She told him about Daniel. She told him she needed to make a statement. She offered him $1 million for 1 year of marriage. Michael stared at her. Then he laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was unbelievable. You've lost your mind. Probably. You want to marry a stranger? Yes. For revenge? Yes. What? Michael stood up. No. Olivia expected that. I'll make it 2 million. No. 3. Money isn't the problem. Then what is? Michael looked directly into her eyes. You don't get married because you're angry. Olivia's expression hardened. You don't know what he did to me. No, I don't. Then don't judge me. I'm not judging you. Michael picked up his keys. I'm telling you that my daughter deserves better than being part of someone's revenge. Olivia froze. Emma. She hadn't thought about Emma. She had thought about the wedding, the photographs, Daniel's reaction, the headlines. She hadn't thought about the little girl who would be living under the same roof. Michael walked away. Olivia returned to her penthouse that evening and sat alone in the darkness. For the first time, she questioned herself. Maybe Michael was right. Maybe revenge wasn't worth destroying another person's life. But the next morning, something unexpected happened. Daniel called. Olivia. She stared at the phone. Why are you calling? I heard you're getting married. She said nothing. Daniel laughed. Come on, Olivia, you don't seriously expect me to believe that. Believe whatever you want. Who is he? A man you don't know. Is he rich? No. Daniel laughed again. Then you're doing this because of me. Olivia's hand tightened around the phone. Daniel continued. You still haven't moved on. She closed her eyes. Something inside her snapped. You'll find out soon enough. She hung up. Then she called Michael. I'll make you a different offer. Michael sighed. Olivia. Listen first. She offered him a contract. 1 year, separate bedrooms, no physical expectations, full financial security for Emma, and one promise. If at any point you want out, you can leave. Michael remained silent. What changed? He finally asked. Your daughter. Michael looked toward Emma, who was sitting at the kitchen table doing her homework. She shouldn't be part of this. She won't be. Then why? Olivia hesitated. Because I need someone who doesn't care about my money. Michael laughed softly. That's exactly what someone with money would say. For the first time, Olivia smiled. Then maybe you should prove me wrong. 2 weeks later, Olivia Sterling married Michael Reed. The wedding was small, but the photographs became national news. Millionaire businesswoman marries single father. The internet exploded. People speculated. Some called Michael a gold digger. Others called Olivia foolish. Daniel simply stared at the screen. He couldn't believe it. Olivia had actually done it. She had married someone completely outside their world. But what Daniel didn't know was that Olivia had made one mistake. She had married Michael to make someone else jealous. But she had brought Emma into her life, and Emma was about to change everything. The first morning after the wedding, Olivia woke up at 6. She wasn't used to hearing children running through the house. She walked downstairs and found Emma in the kitchen. The little girl was struggling to reach a cereal box. Olivia took it down. Here. Emma smiled. Thanks. Then she looked at Olivia carefully. Are you really my stepmom? So, Olivia paused. Yes. Do you hate Daddy? Olivia nearly laughed. No. Does Daddy hate you? No. Then why did you marry him? Olivia didn't know how to answer. Emma waited. Finally, Olivia said, Sometimes grown-ups make complicated decisions. Emma nodded, as if she understood. Then she pushed the cereal box toward Olivia. Do you want breakfast? Olivia smiled. Sure. They sat together. For the first time in months, Olivia didn't eat alone. That morning became the beginning of something she hadn't expected. Over the next few weeks, Olivia and Michael learned how different they were. Olivia liked expensive restaurants. Michael preferred cooking at home. Olivia worked until midnight. Michael believed dinner should happen at 6. Olivia was obsessed with schedules. Michael lived around Emma's school calendar. And Olivia had never understood how much work went into raising a child. One evening, Emma came home upset. She had failed a math test. Michael sat beside her. It's one test. I studied. I know. I'm stupid. No. Don't. Emma looked at him. Then why did I fail? Michael put his hand on her shoulder. Because failing doesn't mean you're stupid. It means you haven't learned it yet. Olivia listened from the hallway. Those words stayed with her. She had built her entire life around never failing. A failed business deal felt like humiliation. A mistake felt like weakness. But Michael taught Emma that failure was simply part of learning. That night, Olivia found Michael in the kitchen. You were good with her. I'm her father. You make it look easy. Michael smiled. It isn't. For a moment they looked at each other. Something changed. Neither of them said anything, but both felt it. Weeks became months. The marriage that was supposed to last 1 year began to feel real. Olivia started attending Emma's school events. She helped her with art projects. She learned Emma's favorite songs. She even began making pancakes on Sunday mornings. Michael noticed. "You don't have to do all this." Olivia looked up. "I know." "Then why do you?" She smiled. "Because I want to." That answer frightened her, because it was true. One night, Olivia received a message from Daniel. "I heard you actually love being married to him." She stared at the screen. Then another message appeared. "You were supposed to marry him for revenge. Don't tell me you've fallen for him." Olivia didn't respond, but she couldn't sleep. Because Daniel had asked the question she was afraid to ask herself. Had she fallen in love with Michael? The answer came a few days later. Michael got injured at work. A heavy metal panel fell and struck his shoulder. It wasn't life-threatening, but when Olivia received the call, she left a business meeting in the middle of a presentation. She rushed to the hospital. When she saw Michael sitting on the bed with his arm in a sling, she nearly cried. "What happened?" "Hey, I'm okay." "You're not okay." "I'm fine." "You could have been seriously hurt." Michael stared at her. "Why are you shaking?" Olivia looked down. Her hands were trembling. She whispered, "Because I thought I might lose you." Silence. Michael's eyes softened. "Olivia." She looked at him, and she realized it. She wasn't pretending anymore. She loved him, not his usefulness, not his role in her revenge, not the image of being married. Him, the man who gave his jacket to his daughter, the man who fixed her car without asking for anything, the man who taught her that love wasn't about money, the man who made ordinary life feel extraordinary. But there was one problem. Michael still believed their marriage had started as a transaction, and Olivia knew she had never told him the truth. Then came the night everything fell apart. Daniel leaked the original marriage agreement to the media. The headlines were brutal. Millionaire paid single dad to marry her. Marriage was a revenge scheme. Michael Reed married for money. Michael saw the news before Olivia could explain. He stood in the living room holding his phone. "Is this true?" Olivia froze. "Michael, is this true?" She couldn't lie. "Yes." "So," Michael's face changed. "So you paid me?" At first. At first? I didn't know you. So what am I now?" Olivia stepped toward him. "You became my family." Michael shook his head. "You don't get to change the beginning just because you changed your feelings." "Michael, please." "You married me because you wanted revenge." "Yes. And I was stupid enough to believe this was real." "It became real." Michael's eyes filled with pain. "When?" Olivia couldn't answer. "Was it when you met Emma?" She nodded. "Was it when I helped you with your car?" "Maybe." "When you took care of me?" "Yes." "When you realized I wasn't like Daniel?" "Yes." Michael looked away. "But I still don't know if you love me because I'm me, or because I became part of your plan." Olivia started crying. "I love you because you're the first person who ever made me feel safe enough to be myself." Michael remained silent. "I don't need your money," he said. I know. I don't need your penthouse. I know. I don't even need this marriage. Olivia's voice broke. But I do. Michael looked at her. Why? Oh, because somewhere along the way, you became my home. Michael didn't answer. He walked upstairs. That night, he packed a bag. Emma watched him. Are we leaving? Michael knelt beside her. I think we need some time. Emma looked at Olivia. Did she do something bad? Michael swallowed. Adults sometimes make mistakes. Emma ran to Olivia. She hugged her. Olivia broke down. I'm sorry. Emma whispered, I don't want you to leave. Olivia held her tightly. I don't want to leave either. Michael watched them, and for the first time, he understood that this wasn't revenge anymore. This was a family, a broken family, but still a family. He left that night. For 3 weeks, Olivia barely worked. Her company continued running, but she didn't care. She returned to the penthouse. It was huge, beautiful, silent, and completely empty. She realized something painful. Before Michael and Emma entered her life, she had mistaken luxury for happiness. Now she had everything she once wanted, and she hated it. Meanwhile, Michael moved into his sister's small apartment with Emma. He tried to convince himself that leaving was the right decision. But every night, Emma asked the same question. When are we going home? Michael didn't know what to say, because he didn't know where home was anymore. One Saturday morning, Olivia showed up at his sister's apartment. She wasn't wearing designer clothes. She wasn't wearing jewelry. She carried no expensive gifts. She simply held a folder. Michael opened the door. What are you doing here? I came to give you something. She handed him the folder. He opened it. Inside was the marriage contract. Olivia had crossed out every financial clause, every payment, every condition. Then she signed the final page. I don't want anything from you, she said. Michael stared at her. I'm giving you your freedom. She continued. No money, no contract, no obligation. Michael looked up. Why? Because if you ever come back, I want it to be because you choose me. He couldn't speak. Olivia took a breath. I spent my whole life believing control was the same thing as security. I thought if I had enough money, enough success, enough power, nobody could hurt me. She wiped away a tear. Then you came into my life and showed me that love isn't something you control. Michael's eyes filled. I can't promise you'll forgive me. No. I can't promise we'll get back together. I know. But I can promise that I will never use money to keep you. Michael looked at the contract, then at Olivia. Did you really mean it? Every word. Emma suddenly appeared behind him. Olivia? Olivia smiled through her tears. Hi, sweetheart. Emma ran into her arms. Michael closed his eyes. For a moment he remembered everything. The rain, the broken down car, the strange proposal, the wedding, the pancakes, the hospital, the argument, and now this. He finally understood that Olivia had changed, not because she had become poor, because she had learned to give without expecting something in return. Michael stepped closer. I was angry. I know. I was hurt. I know. Oh, but I never stopped loving you. Olivia looked up. You still love me? Michael smiled. I tried not to. She laughed through her tears. How did that work? Terribly. No. They embraced. Emma wrapped her arms around both of them, and for the first time, the marriage that had begun as revenge became a marriage built on choice. 1 year later, Olivia stood in front of a small crowd at a charity event. She had started a foundation for single parents. Michael stood beside her. Emma was sitting in the front row. A reporter asked Olivia a question. "Do you regret the way your marriage began?" Olivia looked at Michael. Then she smiled. "I regret hurting people because I was angry." No. She paused. "But I don't regret meeting my husband." The reporter asked, "So would you say revenge led you to love?" Olivia shook her head. "No." Everyone waited. "Revenge didn't lead me to love." She looked at Michael. "Love taught me to let go of revenge." The crowd applauded. Michael reached for her hand. Olivia squeezed it, and Emma smiled, because she knew something the world didn't. Her family had started with a lie, but it had survived because eventually they chose the truth. The truth was that money could buy a house, but it couldn't make it a home. Money could buy a wedding, but it couldn't create a marriage. Money could buy comfort, but it couldn't buy trust. And money could certainly buy revenge, but it could never buy love. Olivia had once believed that making Daniel jealous would heal her heart. She was wrong. Her heart healed when she stopped trying to prove something to the man who had hurt her. It healed when she learned to love without conditions. It healed when she became a wife instead of a woman seeking revenge. And most importantly, it healed when she became part of a little girl's life. Years later, Olivia would sometimes think about that rainy afternoon when her car broke down. She would remember Michael standing in the rain. She would remember Emma saying, "Daddy, that lady needs help." And she would smile, because neither of them knew it at the time. That broken down car had been the beginning of a completely different life. A life Olivia never planned, a family she never expected, and a love she could never have purchased. Michael sometimes teased her about their first meeting. "You know, you offered me $3 million to marry you." "Oh." Olivia would laugh. "And you said no." "Smartest decision I ever made." "Really?" "Absolutely." "Then why did you eventually say yes?" Michael would look at her and smile. "Because I knew you were lonely." Olivia would raise an eyebrow. "You felt sorry for me?" "No." "Then what?" "I saw a woman who had everything except someone who loved her for who she really was." He would take her hand. "And I wanted to know who that woman was." Olivia would smile. "And now?" Michael would kiss her forehead. "Now I can't imagine my life without her." From across the room, Emma would groan. "Okay, you two, that's enough." They would laugh, and the house would fill with the kind of sound Olivia's penthouse had never known. The sound of a family, a real family, not perfect, not wealthy enough to avoid problems, not free from arguments or misunderstandings, but real. And sometimes the greatest love stories don't begin with two people who are ready to love. Sometimes they begin with two broken people who don't even realize they need each other. Sometimes one person is running from betrayal. Another is running from loneliness. And somehow life puts them in the same place at the same time. Olivia thought she was marrying Michael to make another man jealous. She thought she was in control. But love had other plans. It taught her that revenge only keeps you connected to the person who hurt you. Forgiveness sets you free. And sometimes, when you finally stop looking backward, you discover that the greatest thing waiting for you is standing right beside you. Michael wasn't the husband Olivia had planned to marry. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. He didn't belong to her world. But he gave her something money never could. He gave her a reason to come home, and Emma gave her something even more precious, a chance to become the woman she had always wanted to be. So if there is one lesson in Olivia and Michael's story, it is this. Never build your future around proving something to someone from your past. The person who hurt you doesn't deserve that much power over your life. Don't marry for revenge. Don't live for revenge. Don't succeed just to make someone regret losing you. Build a life that makes you proud. Love people who love you. Protect the people who trust you. And when life gives you an unexpected second chance, don't reject it simply because it doesn't look like the future you imagined. Because sometimes the person you never planned to meet becomes the person you never want to live without. And sometimes the family you never expected becomes the greatest blessing of your life. Olivia thought she was writing a revenge story. Instead, she wrote a love story. And this time, there was no contract, no money, no revenge. 11:11.